Recently, I published a couple of videos about electric bicycle battery fires, the dangers of charging batteries indoors. And this got me thinking about the risks I was taking charging my batteries inside that Coroplast camper. So I decided that I would no longer do that, and I'd find a way of charging them outside of the camper. And this is what I came up with. Let me tell you about my latest innovation for making battery charging safer on my bicycle camping trips. A few months ago, I bought a front rack for my RadRover fat bike with the idea of building a box for it for carrying stuff on my camping trips. So that's when I got the idea that I could use that box I was going to build to carry the batteries while I'm traveling, but also to use it as a charging station. I built the box out of my favorite building material, Coroplast. Of course, you could build it out of anything, that doesn't matter. The box has a flip-up lid that's secured with a lock in case of theft or tampering, and it just flips up like this. And inside the box, there are sections for placing the two batteries with the charger in between. I built a cradle for the charger that's raised about 1.5 inches above the bottom of the box. And also, I made some large holes for ventilation to allow the box to cool while the batteries are charging. The 3 large holes in the bottom allow cool air to enter the box, but to allow the warmed up air to escape, I left a gap at the top of one of the walls, a gap of 1.5 inches here, and on the other wall about 3/4 of an inch to allow air to escape. But to make it even easier for the air to escape, I made the lid of the box wider than the box itself, and it protrudes about 1 inch at the back on the side where there's a 1.5 inch clearance. So this allows the warm air to escape. In addition to being useful for cooling, the large holes at the bottom can serve for inserting a power cord. You might be wondering why I'm using a 2-conductor extension cord when the charger itself has a 3-conductor wire. So the answer is simple. It's to save weight. All told, for the camper I have 40 feet of 2-strand wire, and for the charging box I have 16 feet of 2-conductor wire. So that adds up to a fair bit of weight, and a big weight saving. So one thing that I was very careful about was to respect polarity. When I built the wiring for the camper and when I made the wiring for the box, I made sure, and when I made the wiring for my extension cords, which I made myself, I made sure to respect the polarity. On the left we have the outlet, and you notice that there are 2 slots. A big one and a small one. The small slot is equivalent to the black wire, and the large slot is connected to the white wire. When it comes to the plug, the flat pin on the left is the black wire, whereas the one on the right is the white wire. As for the round pin, it's the ground, and the ground is not needed for operating a device. Now, when I made my extension cords, I respected the polarity throughout. It's a small risk. It means I don't have a ground. It's a small risk that I'm willing to take. I'm not advising anybody to take that risk, but for me, it was worth it for the weight saving. Most chargers will become warm or hot while they're charging, and you don't want to transfer that heat over to the battery. So on a warm night or a very hot night, you might want to remove one of the batteries. The battery that's not being charged, you might want to remove it to allow more breathing space inside the box. And I made some lifting straps like this here to help take the battery out. And if it's a very hot, if you're doing it during the daytime and it's not raining, you can park the bike in the shade and leave the lid completely open. So those are just some precautions you might want to take. So in closing, I haven't had much chance to try out this system, but I think it's promising. If you have any ideas to add to this, I'd be certainly appreciate hearing your comments. And don't forget, in the meantime, never quit cycling. If you like my channel, you can help support it by giving this video a like or writing a comment or sharing with others. And if you haven't already done so, to subscribe. And if you'd like to help even more, you could buy a copy of my book, Sailor Without a Boat, How I Sailed on Other People's Yachts and Lived to Tell About It. You can find all kinds of information about the book and electric bicycles on my website, www.robertberrio.com. Thank you for watching.